Do you guys know a guy by the name of Mark Zuckerberg?
What are you guys making for dinner? Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce.
He's the guy who made Meta, which was known as Facebook, which was known as MySpace, before he stole it from that guy who ate another person. That's not really what I'm talking about today. Today I want to talk about something special. Mark Zuckerberg has a lover. The only problem is that he doesn't know that she exists, and also she speaks in a language that's barely English. Also, I know this is a mini mic, subscribe so I can get a bigger one. Also, I'm on location, filming a short film, which you might see later. Also, this lady scares me. I'm using very weird technology to actually do this, but I hope that the video actually goes well, and I just wanted to take you through one of my favorite episodes of Scamfish I've ever seen. I will give you $100 if it's not from Nigeria, just by the way. I haven't seen the full episode, but I can almost guarantee the person is Nigerian. It's like things that are sure in life at this point: death, taxes, and the person scamming you is Nigerian. Also, your tech support is Indian for sure. All right.
I'm like, oh really? Who's the CEO of the company? Mr. Mark Zuckerberg, Mr. Mark.
Yeah. This is the kind of girl that we're gonna see today. Mr. Mark Zuckerberg. I don't really know where she's from, but I think it's Earth. General Earth is where she's from.
He wanted me to be his mistress or his second wife. He's got a great body. I have to give him that.
I think that it's important to see who we're talking about. Within the first 15 seconds, we have someone who can barely pronounce his name, says words like he has a great body, which is just not what I thought. The first thing you'd say about Mark Zuckerberg is like, you know, first thing that comes to your mind when you hear the word Zuckerberg, he's got a great body, is something nobody says. He looks like AI. He's becoming what he wants to create. Is it Elon Musk, Tesla robot? Is Mark Zuckerberg? Question mark. Those are all questions that are more valid than does he have a great body? I guess he does. This lady also claims that he wants to leave his wife for her, and also her relationship with her son is completely down the drain. Such is Catfish.
Time in his life, he knows what true love is. My mission is to get my son back. He won't talk to me. He won't see me.
So this lady, her mission is to get her son back. Yet she's in her car talking about Mark Zuckerberg. I don't know if the lady understands that her son is not Mark Zuckerberg, and if she doesn't, there's way more problems than we originally thought. But if you need your son to be saved, maybe don't go onto YouTube television and be like, Zuckerberg, great body, I wouldn't touch him. Maybe not do that if you're trying to get your son back. If you're trying to make a new son with the Zuck, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Carrie. I love to drive and be on an open road.
Oh, she's from the Midwest. She just explained where she's from. I like shooting pool, bowling, and driving. That's pretty much like Southern truckers and Midwest people. When there's, you know, those are not things people like doing. Those are things people have to do to pass the time by. If you like doing it, you're from a place where nothing else exists. I feel like I know where she's from. She's like Oklahoma or something. I'm just gonna guess.
My husband was very complex, very entertaining. We met when I was 15 and he was 23.
Nope. That's a big nope. All right, that's a Midwest thing, isn't it? That's a R. Kelly special right there. She just dropped it like it wasn't even. We met when I was 15. He was 23. It was good. I remember seeing Elvis Presley do that same thing. Times were really dark back then, weren't they? 15. I feel sorry for you, Carrie. Carry on.
He was also a professional clown, loved music.
Of course he fucking was. That makes complete sense in what you just said. He loved to cook, he's a professional clown, he drives trucks, and he poops himself. They're all valid things. Thank you, Carrie. I couldn't have guessed that you would have said he's a professional clown as the second thing. You know what? I hope you upgrade to Mark Zuckerberg, because a professional clown is... I think you deserve better than a professional clown, okay? You were married to a professional clown? Your standards. Hire them.
Unfortunately passed away November 28th of 21. I've been trying to find myself and who I am.
Man, I keep seeing Catfish episodes, and like every now and again I hear some of the saddest stuff I've ever heard. Like, Carrie is not the youngest tool in the shed. She looks like she's 50 plus, right? And then saying the words like, I'm trying to find myself, is like really sad once you really think about the fact that nobody had time to find themselves in like, I mean, everyone has time, but was married since she was young and didn't really have time to think about who it is she wants to be. Now she's thinking about that after her clown husband died. Rest in peace. Did they have like a mini car that like 100 clowns pulled out of? Sorry, inappropriate. My point is, it's really sad that she's trying to find herself now, and instead of finding herself, she found the Zuck. And who better to fall in love with than the person who made Facebook be on Facebook looking for love? That's hilarious. That's like the person who invented lotto, buying lotto tickets and keep losing. I just find that funny, really.
I've never really known who I, Carrie, have been, it's supposed to be.
Carrie's husband.
Every now and again, Carrie says things and I just guess. I wish they had subtitles for this episode, and I don't know if she's, got maybe a little speech impediment, or she's just like, I knocked back 6 beers, because it is the Midwest. That's a normal thing to do there. Just, it's Tuesday, oh shit, it's past 10 a.m. Better drink a case of beer. Carrie's like, I don't know. I'm hoping that she's alright.
She was lonely and left to raise her son alone. One night, while she was scrolling through Facebook, is when it all began.
This is what happens when you're raising your son alone. I know it. Like, those two things go together like cheese and wine. I'm raising my son alone. I'm scrolling Facebook. Those two things are like the same thing. I've noticed this. Oh, I'm lonely. Let me go through Facebook. Oh, my son and I have to go through this life alone. Let me leave my son there for 30 minutes and scroll Facebook. Why? What is it with people and scrolling Facebook and single moms are like fucking hand in hand apparently. Oh, man. Anyway, she goes on Facebook, and guess who she meets? Marcus Zuckerberg. She meets the CEO, the leader of the free Facebook world, Marcus Zuck the Fuckerberg.
Her name was Virginia. She claims that I was a lucky contestant that had won $1 million.
Oh man, I love when I go on Facebook and win $1 million. Last time I went on Facebook, they extracted my information, but the odds are high this time. Next time I go on Facebook, I might win $1 million. They just need my social security and driver's license and all of my information, and then they'll give me the money. I love Facebook and how secure it is. All these old folks never have any problems with Facebook. Mark, it's not a retirement home. Why are the old people getting scammed on Facebook? Can you have some security for them? These poor people.
And I'm like, yeah, this ain't real. Facebook doesn't do online giveaways.
Oh, so she replies to them. She's like, yeah, Facebook doesn't do giveaways. I know that. My husband's the CEO, and he's a clown. I get it. So Carrie was like, no. So how did she wind up with this problem then, if she understands?
Who's the CEO of the company? And she told me, Mr. Mark Zuckerberg.
Wow. So she tested the person. She said, oh, really? If you really know a lot about Facebook, who's the COO, as she says, of Facebook? And someone looked up, and it's Mark Zuckerberg, and then they said it, and then Carrie was like, holy shit, you must really be for real. If you know who made Facebook, you must really know your shit. Give me that $1 million. That's all it took for Carrie to trust. Old people sure do trust easily, I'm gonna go up to an old person and be like, hi, my name's Daniel, and they'll trust me. But also, why would I lie about that? It's very, very confusing to old people. I'm sorry, old people.
My knowledge of what Mark net worth is around $700 billion. He's one of the richest men in the world.
All right, Carrie. $700 billion would make him the richest person in the world. GDPs of countries don't often, some of them don't exceed $700 billion. And furthermore, I think Elon Musk is the richest, and I think his is close to $250 billion, which is ridiculous. But way to make a guy who's a billionaire seem poor. Oh, there is no way to win against these women. She's like, yeah, you have $700 billion. Mark's like, actually, I only have $100 billion. And then she's like, oh, well, I'm just gonna go bowling and shooting pool, I guess. When I meet someone with $700 billion, call me, bitch.
He is very compassionate and sincere.
God, how do you know this stuff upon meeting him for the first time today? Wow, he's compassionate, sincere, and he has a company with his wife. That's a lot to gain from one conversation with a man who you didn't know existed prior to today. Carrie. It really bothers me that most of these people do these catfish episodes in their car, and it makes me feel like, why can't you do it in your house? Do you have one? Kind of.
He's got a great body. I have to give him that. He's got a great body. Him and I would talk for a little while.
Oh, he even, you know what? He does sound like Mark Zuckerberg. Hello, this is the CEO of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg. You can call me Mark, though. If he actually said that, I'd be like, wow, that really does sound like Mark Zuckerberg. And this is the only person in the world who you can run into Chat GPT and it's like, you're sounding too normal. Can you make it sound more robotic? I need it to sound exactly like Mark. That's the only thing. Like, ChatGPT can get him down to a T. So she responds, hey, nice to meet you. You could literally be the CEO of Facebook. And these girls are like, yeah, CEO of my ass. I don't care, okay? You better put that $700 million on a Pandora ring, okay?
Then he asked me how I would use this money. And I told him,
Carrie, now that you have won the raffle, what are you planning to do with the money? I've been working on my Mark Zuckerberg impression.
maybe go on a vacation and donate some to a cancer foundation.
All right, all very valid and cool things. I think it would be nice if we had $1 million each. I appreciate Carrie's willingness to give to people. She seems like a pretty decent human who's just caught in a bad situation and is hella delusional, which it seems to be the thing that old people suffer from more than pooping themselves is delusion. So like an old person would be like, I didn't poop myself, and I'm like, okay, all right, Gramps, you're smearing chocolate sauce over the wall. I know, I can see.
I was trying to do this, not even for me, but for my son, to have him have some kind of financial security.
Right, but you don't marry Mark Zuckerberg if you want financial security. You get it yourself. Okay, Carrie. This is like saying I'm playing the lotto so my son can have a future. It's not necessarily the best way to go about it. Like, in theory, yeah, man, if you somehow meet Mark Zuckerberg and you sex him up into marrying you, sure, you'll be secure for life in terms of money. But that has happened to one woman's, okay? Maybe you can be out there, and, you know, if you look really good, you might wife up a guy. You might even divorce and get the money. Who knows? It's a crazy system. But saying this is for your son, just so he can call Mark Zuckerberg daddy, is one of the worst things that I think I've ever heard in terms of a plan. Carrie, you want to call him daddy. You want your son to call him dad. This is not happening. Okay. You might as well marry the Nigerian who's behind the scam.
I didn't want to be like ridiculed and shut down for talking with somebody.
It's almost as if she knows that it's wrong. Because she's like, I didn't tell anybody. I didn't want to be shut down, as if she's a computer or something. I don't know why she even said that. She's talking like Mark Zuckerberg now. Don't shut me down, please.
Did I just click the fucking button to turn the computer off with my toe? I'm gonna be so pissed off.
I just think that there's something up here. It's like she knows that she's doing something wrong, which is why she's not telling everyone. Because like if I met like a supermodel, I'd be like, yo, look at my girl. And like I wouldn't keep it a secret unless I knew really that's a Nigerian man behind that supermodel exterior. You know?
Let alone potentially more.
Alright, so I replay that 163 times before I understood what she was saying, because it sounds like what she's saying is la la sa ma. And I was like, damn, that's a good ad lib. Get Travis Scott. She meant to say let alone Mark. She's just got the loosest sound. La la ma. Here I like that. She's just a loose jaw. Not like that.
Carrie had originally began to send money to Mark so she could claim her $1 million and a 2023 Camaro.
Oh, he just threw that shit in, did he? Drew? He just threw in a 2023 Camaro as well. He's like, I'm Mark Zuckerberg. I can throw in anything I want. First, you give me $500, then I'll give you a car and $1 million. Ta-da, alakazam, bitch. I'm a fucking magician. Okay. Awesome. So you have to send Mark Zuckerberg, one of the richest people in the world, $500. What's he gonna do? Wipe his balls with that money? Seriously?
There had to be payment to release that. What's $50 compared to $1 million?
Yes, but $50 compared to not getting any money is bad, and also it's $500. I don't know why you're just like skipping out on zeros here for no reason. Let me tell you something. I feel like in Nigeria, two people were like, hey bro, I don't think that's how they sound. I'll do something for you. And then the other guy looked at him and he's like, I bet you cannot get someone to scam as Mark Zuckerberg. He's a little French. And then the other guy was like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll take that bet. And then he pretended to be Mark Zuckerberg, and now he's successfully scamming people as one of the richest people in the world and the person who owns Facebook. That's so stupid to be scammed by that. It's like someone saying like, hey, I'm Michael Jordan. I don't have shoes. Can you please lend me some Jordans? Why?
You know, even though I was struggling and I didn't have much at that time, I started trusting him.
We will also need a photocopy of the front and back of you and your son's driver license. She gave them that, didn't she? Oh my god. Like, honestly, he could have been like, while you're at it, bend over. Seriously, she might as, I'll kick you up the ass. That you might as well. Ever you're doing anything I want to say at this point.
Even the address to where I was living at.
Carrie sent the front and back of both her ID and her son's ID.
How do you even have your son's ID? Did you go and steal your son's ID? This is probably why her son doesn't talk to her anymore. Because his information is now compromised because of Carrie's weirdly stupid ability to not see through things that are very obvious. I cannot believe she did that to her son. Like, doing it to yourself is one thing. It's bad enough. Dragging your son into it when he doesn't have any reason to be dragged into it, Carrie, that's not good. Also, I just want to say, that photo looks like that one cat photo. I don't know if you've seen that cat video on Instagram where the cat looks like it's trying to seduce its owner. It's like doing that side smell. Like, she looks like she's the cat, less furry. Well, oh wow. Okay, so in between, Mox, like while you wait to give me more of your son's private information and bank account details, let me tell you about my wife. And then I don't know if any of this is true because I don't know Mark's private life as well as some of these people do. It turns out all of these people who get catfished by celebs seem to know way too much, and it feels a bit easy when scammers are like, okay, I can see you're on the fan page and you're a super fan. I'm surprised Taylor Swift isn't catfishing people. And please, if you're watching this, Nigerian scammer, stop. Also, to everyone else in Nigeria who doesn't scam, which is most of you guys, I'm sorry, you could be from anywhere and scam people. It just happens to be Nigeria 95% of the time for some reason.
The third child, so she could hold on to him. They don't see each other that much because...
Did she just say she purposely got pregnant to hold on to... Did she say the third child? As if he's just gonna forget about the other two? Carrie has one child and she like compromises the child. She's like, Mark has 3 and that's only because the lady is really off to the bag. She secured the bag, okay? You secure your son. Please, Carrie.
I think it was around the 3rd week of him and I talking. It's when he told me that he was in love with me.
And there it is. Mark Zuckerberg is now in love with Carrie. Carrie from Whole Foods or wherever the hell she works. I have no idea where she works. That's how it starts. Mark is like, I created this platform so I could find you, Carrie. You're the most beautiful lady I've ever seen. He had to think about it.
He wanted me to be his mistress or his second wife. He
gave you options. I like that. Please don't tell my wife or become my second wife. Maybe you guys can do that and we can move to Utah. I kind of like Salt Lake City. It's cool. He gave you options. I like that. Keep it a secret or let's have a big wedding. You choose.
For the first time in his life, he knows what true love is and what it means to actually be in love.
What loneliness does to a person, huh? Like, it's tragic, obviously. And in a lot of these cases, their partners pass away or something happens where they lose the spark and then they look elsewhere for love. I don't know why you chose, like, after this time to start looking. But it also works on the basis that they have to believe these very delusional things like you're the person I was looking for my whole life. Not an easy thing to say for a man who has seemingly everything in this world, including a wife and kids, just by the way. He has that. To put this into perspective, right? Mark Zuckerberg, right, can drive any car. Imagine you're a 1932 piece of shit garbage. Would he go for you? Okay. Thank you. I rest my case.
Company here on the East Coast, which myself and him, we will work side by side together at the company. He has...
Oh yeah, that way you can take it from a small business into a big global conglomerate, huh? Mark Zuckerberg has that small Facebook company, but once you guys work together hand in hand, side by side, you can turn it from Facebook to just book, because you'll ruin it, probably. Yeah. I'm so glad that none of this sounds delusional. She looked at a company that's probably the biggest in the world, bar Amazon, and was like, yes, I can provide, I like bowling and driving. I'll drive you to and from this company, Mark. I'll be your chauffeur. Yeah.
And he's looking forward to being a stepdad to him. teaching him and giving him a job at Facebook.
Unironically, that sounds like something Mark would say. I will treat your son like one of my own. It sounds like something he would actually say if he was a stepdad. He'd call the son one of their own and call him a child or a kid or a male who is under 20. He will work with me and I will teach him everything I know. What the fuck? Okay. All right. I'm so happy Carrie's buying this. You know what I mean? She's sitting there and she's like, yes. Ah, man, my clown husband passed away. Now I've won $1 million and I'm also in love with someone who has $700 billion. Life's finally looking up. Once my clown husband passed away, things just got way better. I'm glad that she thought this was the chain of events that was like applicable to her life. Really, motherfucker, really?
This Mark Zuckerberg profile would eventually tell Wanda that he was ready to completely end his marriage. This is when things started to spiral out of control.
No, Drew, things have been spiraling out of control since the start of this video. Ever since she said, my name is Carrie and I gave my son's information to Mark Zuckerberg, I knew this shit was fucked up. I knew there was no return from this point. Oh God, Carrie.
And I even looked into, the laws in California. And
How about you look into the laws of getting a job where you are? Because it seems to me like you're just waging a lot of this on Mark Zuckerberg. I know Selena Gomez has over $1 billion and she's with Benny Blanco. But maybe, in my heart of hearts, if she just sees me walking across the street and I do one of these, Selena, then maybe she'll be like, Benny, I'm leaving you. But I think that's delusional, Carrie. And so I keep on with my life and try and make my own career. Because she's not a meal ticket, she's just a great person. Okay? Fuck, man, your son. I feel so sorry for your son.
another time that he asked me for money was so he could eat.
I'm done with these people. I'm done. I can't keep. I'm done. They gotta start a company. It's like where all these old people come after Drew and everyone else is very nice to them. And I have boxing gloves and I'm like, you deserve one of these. And you know what happens. I rocky them. Because some of them, Mark Zuckerberg needs money to eat. Have you ever went outside a grocery store, Walgreens and stuff, and you saw Mark Zuckerberg being like, please, Facebook's not doing well. Come on. Carry some common sense, Carrie. Carry that.
The first person that he had as a lawyer took the money and hasn't been seen since.
I can't imagine Mark saying babe. I feel like he calls everyone by their name. Like, I don't think he has, babe, I need you to send me money, babe. I feel like he tried to say it once and like his jaw exploded. I don't believe that. Anyway, his lawyer ran off with his money. Bad person to make enemies with, Mark Zuckerberg. But anyway, I guess you gotta do your lawyer stuff and just gap it into the night.
She sent money for his divorce lawyer, food, Wi-Fi. The list goes on and on, totaling to $24,000.
I would be sad if it wasn't so stupid. Like, I would feel sorry for Carrie if I didn't just have to listen to how she struggles with money and struggles and is a single mom trying to support her son. She's a single mom, is struggling with money, and can give the richest man, one of the richest men in the world, $24,000 to eat food. What is he eating? Caviar every day? Come on. These people.
He is planning on coming here on October 2nd or 3rd.
She speaks about him like he's Jesus, like he's coming. He will rise again, and the thing that will rise is his penis. She's just, you know what I mean? Like, it's a little much right now. You send him $24K. He's like, I'm coming. I'm gonna buy houses there. You're gonna be the leader of my company. I'm gonna take in your son. It feels like it's a little much. You're sitting in your car talking about how you think he's real, like he's a mythical creature. I don't know what to tell you, Carrie.
Mark never showed up on the 3rd. This is when Carrie knew something wasn't right.
That's when Carrie knew. She knew then. All this time she's been like, Mark, I know it's hard to believe, but you and I, baby, we're gonna do this thing. Only now. Only October 3rd, she's like, oh my gosh, it's been almost a year, what the hell? Your husband may have been the clown, but you're really a fool. I gotta be honest, I don't know.
All she wants is for all of this to be real so she can claim the prize Mark originally promised her and prove to her son that all of it is true.
This is the equivalent of having a dream where you win $1 million, waking up, and then doing this. and then trying to go back to sleep. Oh, that's Carrie. This is so stupid. I can't. I honestly can't with her. I just these people.
The most valuable thing to me is losing my son. And that is my mission, is to get my son back. He won't talk to me.
You compromised his information for Mark Zuckerberg, who was a Nigerian man. What do you think was gonna happen? If my mom did that, I'd be pretty pissed off.
He's got food on the table, clothes on his back, some kind of roof over his head. In my son's eyes.
I remember seeing a comment when I was watching this, and they're like, that's what you're supposed to do as a parent. I love when parents do that. They're like, I provide for you. And it's like, yes, but you also had me, and I didn't have a say in that. So you're supposed to do that shit. Like, you can't hold that against my head. Without this, you'd be on the street. It's like, without you making that decision, I wouldn't be here anyway. So you can't hold this against my head, but not that. So I don't feel like that's correct. I don't feel like you should be able to be like, I always provided food for you. You made that decision, Carrie. Come on. You can't make him feel like it's like, wow, thanks. I mean, I do get it. You should be thankful, but it's much.
Zach, if you're watching this, I hope you have gotten the text messages that I have sent you.
Holy shit, Carrie. You could just say it here. If he's watching this, you don't have to be like, I hope you got the text message. Just say it again. She forgot what she said in the text message, huh? She's like, son, if you see this, take out the bins. All right, bye.
Please forgive Mom.
After several emails, text messages, and even phone calls.
So anyway, this is like a convoluted. Half of it is I want Mark Zuckerberg to be real. Half of it is my son has left. He's not coming back. Please let me appeal to that. In the meantime, they ask Carrie to send any proof, evidence, anything that they can do to help her with her case. And for the next few weeks, she goes dark. And they ask questions. They're like, Carrie, can you please confirm? Are you even there, Carrie? And she just has gone away. So for the next few weeks, they don't even know if they still have her as a person on the show. Then randomly, Drew manages to get her reeled in and is like, hey, can we have a phone conversation? And she's back after weeks.
I haven't gotten any emails from you guys.
Oh, okay, so 3 weeks later, Carrie has now turned into Golem. I guess it just keeps, it's the gift that keeps giving. She used to be in her car and now she's just literally doing the Lord of the Rings impressions. She's hitting you with that my precious impression.
I would assume so.
So call them and reset.
There it is. So she hasn't been getting any emails for the last 3 weeks. And Drew's like, does Mark Zuckerberg have your email? And she's like, I would assume so. As if she's a South Park character. And it all makes sense. Maybe the dude's been deleting the emails. Good work, Carrie.
Carrie, he's hitting you with one-liners. He's hitting you with 3 words every
Yeah, okay, so now Carrie has gone. Like, she's in Delulu number 2. She's, like, ascended to Super Saiyan Delulu at this point. Because Mark Zuckerberg asking about your TJ Maxx card, your credit card limit, is not a thing that Mark Zuckerberg would ever ask. But she's like, he's just doing it. He's fooling around. He's like my clown dead husband. Let me read this. Oh, she's even got it as husband, by the way. His name is not Mark Zuckerberg on her phone, it's husband, which is objectively hilarious. Like, you know, you'd probably call your husband or wife by like a cute name, but I would like to call my wife just wife ... I think that's funny. Okay, choose how many potatoes you want or Neil cut into 1/8 size pieces. Once cut, place in cold water. This will prevent browning off them. Rinse well, cover with cold water. What is she teaching him how to make potatoes? Mashed potatoes? It's on brand. I don't think Mark Zuckerberg can do that. Wow. One of them hits him with a K and then he says done.
You're putting into each message, and look at the amount of words and effort he's putting into his messages.
Do you think the Nigerian person who was behind this really didn't know how to make mashed potatoes or something?
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
Because it seems like the person who's cosplaying as Mark Zuckerberg really is like, oh, okay. And then what? She's teaching a man from the other side of the world how to make mashed potatoes. Kind of wholesome.
I just want to tell you something. Like, we're here to help you out. This guy has
So it just cuts to a thing that says 3 hours later, like the SpongeBob. 3 hours later. And then they get the guy, David, who's like the owner. And he's always charged up no matter what. He's like, yeah, you know what I'm telling you? You're just playing yourself. You're playing yourself. I love how they just sick him on people whenever they need someone more agitated educated than Drew. Drew's a bit too nice. He's like, you understand what's happening? This dude is like, Carrie, we're trying to help you. Do you get that? Are you stupid, Carrie? Come on.
So he's logging into your bank account, he's logging into your Facebook, your email, everything.
Sorry. That's not supposed to be funny. But that was like an office bit. Carrie, he has access to everything, right? And you have nothing at all anymore, right? Okay, just wanted to check.
Why would you give him access to all this stuff? Just out of curiosity.
Maybe I'm too trusting.
Yeah, right. That's right. Just make sure that you don't blame yourself for any of this, because if you actually blamed yourself, then you would stand a chance to actually be better, right? Because this is the thing. Let's just be real for a moment. I'm joking around, but let's look into ourselves, pseudo-psychologize. If you actually take responsibility and say something negative, like I'm really naive, instead of I'm too trusting, then it makes you seem like you have an issue that you need to focus on and fix. Therefore, if someone does this to you again, you could be like, I'm not falling for that again. However, if you're too trusting, then you paint yourself as the hero no matter what, and can keep doing it. Oh, I'm just too much of a trusting person. Oh, I'm just too giving. Oh, I love too much. No, you're cheating. I love everyone. That's a difference. You need to actually be real with yourself, Carrie. Someone needs to.
Maybe I'm naive, but when I love somebody, I trust.
And as of right now, you truly believe you're talking to the real Mark Zuckerberg?
Yeah, I do. Because there's certain things that we have shared.
Guys, it's a lost cause. She still believes it. Oh my god. Of course, by the way, I mean, this goes without saying. There's no voice chat, there's no video chat. She's been chatting to a picture of Mark Zuckerberg online. I bet you they have a course there in Nigeria. They're like, how to scam people. And then it's just, you look for people like this with a Midwest haircut who have hobbies like driving, and then it's free game. If you know how to Photoshop, you know how to make money.
He has shared videos with me. In the moment,
Such a mom thing to say, isn't it? He shows him surfing and she's like, cool guy. Wow, so cool. Whoa, Mr. Cool Guy.
So Mark Zuckerberg, he's a fitness guy. He works out with a lot of famous UFC fighters.
Why are his eyes so dilated in that picture, by the way? I was looking at it for a while and I was like, I thought it was AI. That's the problem with Mark Zuckerberg. If he is AI, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. I was like, man, he looks like a cat. Like his eyes. Like the rest of him looks like a alien. So, man, I didn't know, but apparently he got beat up in the UFC. He likes doing all those fighting things. He's like the real life version of that guy from Friends who Monica was gonna marry, the ultimate fighting champion dude. And he's Mark Zuckerberg. He's the same dude. He modeled his life off of a guy from Friends.
Using an Instagram to reference why you're talking to Mark Zuckerberg isn't probably a clear reason of why this person could be true, right?
She's processing that information, Drew. You can't say words like Instagram, Facebook. You gotta say things like, hello, do you understand that Mark is not real? Do you know that a person can say, hey, I'm Mark, cannot be that? I think we need to go back to basics, because I don't know if she understands that people would do this. And maybe it's a rough concept, because lots of people didn't grow up knowing that catfishing was a thing, but now we do. It's pretty evident. Some of these people watch the show and they still do it, so I don't know where the discrepancy is at this point.
She wanted to prove to her son that this truly was Mark. Her pride was in the way, but we had even more to show her.
I get it. I get that it's tough. I get that it's very far-fetched when it's like Jennifer Aniston. Every girl goes for Johnny Depp, every old lady for some reason. I think because he's beginning to look like one. This is the only girl who I've seen who's like, I don't go for that, I go for the big fish. And then it's Mark Zuckerberg himself, and it just becomes harder to even believe that. I'm not saying that it's any easier to believe anyone else, but it's Mark Zuckerberg, dude. If this was 100 years ago, it's like her being catfished by Henry Ford, the person who made the car. And he's like, here, I know you're driving a car to see me, but I'm the person who invented the car. It's kind of like a little far-fetched. I think. Methinks.
And that he was in love with somebody else. He didn't take it well. California law states, and I've looked this up, a spouse can freeze after.
It really looks like a binding document, by the way. It's got a picture of a girl who looks like she's distressed and has her hands out like she's Spider-Man. That looks like an article that'll hold up in court. Thanks for doing your research there, Carrie.
I mean, I know a little bit of Massachusetts law.
But one of the big things we found, there was a handwritten.
So then David's like, yeah, that's not an actual human thing that humans can do. Can't keep you from surviving. I hope you know that. And then she replies by saying she knows Massachusetts law, which doesn't contribute to anything since he's not there and it doesn't matter. This lady has no hope. I honestly have no hope for her. I don't know. Some of these people are lost causes. I feel like I used to have hope. Some of them, I would look at them and be like, okay, you know Jennifer Aniston's not going after you. You get back on that horse, Grandpa. You can find someone else. For her, I'm like, you got to stay off of Facebook. Because your standards are so high, it's ridiculous.
Letter to you from this person that you were talking to.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so there are a few weird things.
Oh, she has the, okay. One, he's clearly sociopath if he's writing, like taking 4 lines to write one thing and going through the lines. Secondly, what was the context of the conversation in which he says Mark Zuck? Like, I don't know, could she rhyme like, this is the only thing that would work. Can you find 2 words that rhyme with bark fuck? And then he's like, Mark Zuck. And then she's like, correct. That's it. That's all I got for that. So at this point, Drew's like trying to be really nice to her and is like, you know, this must be very tough. How you feeling? And she says she doesn't know. And then David hits her with the classic, we know where this person is from. And I can guess. I'm pretty sure. Let's all write down in the chat. Everyone write it down. Where do you think the person is from?
The IP address was in Nigeria, Carrie. The person you're talking to is in Nigeria right now. Just to be certain, we looked up Mark Zuckerberg's phone. You got one of the richest people in the world. They're not going to be using a...
Who knows? Maybe Mark is in Nigeria. Can you imagine if it actually is him and he's stuck and he's in Nigeria and he's like, hello, this is Mark. I just need a little bit of help. And as soon as I get back, I will give you $1 billion. I just, my plane ran out of fuel. Can you imagine if he actually was stuck there? Oh man, what an opportunity, Carrie.
And then the last one is 2 weeks ago. It's him and his wife. They're talking about their new AI system and how it's gonna help healthcare. They're together. They're
talking about the new AI system and how Mark Zuckerberg has been in it for his whole life. I got it. Yes. Innovative and excellent, Marcus. Just take a second to think about the fact that this lady woke up one day and said, yes, me and Mark Zuckerberg are gonna go out and be married. And I'm gonna call him husband on my phone and I'm gonna teach him how to make mashed potatoes. You know, it's the American dream, isn't it? I wake up and everything's all right one day. I like her thinking. It's wrong, but I like it.
This guy is happily married.
Yeah, the thought of him being happily married like makes Carrie do this. She's like, but not to me. She's really taking this tough.
If you guys were to reach out to Mark, if this was not him,
what?
Ideally, I would like to meet him, and I'm not.
Are you serious? Okay, Carrie has jumped off the deep end at this point. After they said he's happily married, she's like, oh, can you just send him a message? Just tell him, is he single? And David and Drew are like, we use Facebook. We don't know Mark Zuckerberg. What are you talking about?
And I'm not asking him to lie. But if my son could see Mark and I together.
That's not gonna happen, Karen.
David had to be like, hey, what? That's so funny. This is honestly like a sitcom thing. And she even said it like a sitcom. She's like, if you could find it in your heart to it doesn't even have to be real. You don't have to, you just Photoshop me and Mark together. Send it to my son. Just tell him that we're together. You don't have to take any more part in this. Just tell him that we're doing well, please. And they're like, we're not gonna lie to your son about you dating Mark Zuckerberg, okay? Be honest.
The right thing to do is to come clean and be like, look, you're my son. I love you. I fucked up. And I want to make things right in our relationship. That's the right thing to do, Carrie. Mark Zuckerberg doesn't matter. He's not even part of this.
She's just sitting in the car like, come on, guys. Just say me and Mark are friends and I got access to his bank account. Just don't let me be wrong in front of my son. No. As it is, my son doesn't talk to me. My friends are gonna watch this. Just let Mark and me, just make it happen. Facebook us together. So then they're like, look, you lost everything, you lost your money, can't get that back. Maybe you could get your son back. Why don't you reach out and apologize to him? And then she's like, yep, let me do that. And then she gives him one of the weirdest videos that I've ever seen.
Hey, kiddo, you know, I don't say this easily. I never have. I was wrong. The person I thought was Mark, the real Mark.
Hey kiddo is the best. You need that piano. Hey kiddo. I don't say this often, but it's not the real Mark Zuckerberg. She doesn't say it often. More often than not, she says it is the real Mark Zuckerberg.
Please let me try and make this right with you. And I'm willing to try. And I'm not going to talk to him no more.
I love that it comes 15 seconds after she tried to get Catfished to lie about her relationship with Mark Zuckerberg to her son. And even when they said they wouldn't do it, she said, we don't even have to be in a relationship, just lie about us being friends. I like how she just keeps going down the ladder of things to do to get her son back. Diabolical.
I love you so much, baby boy.
She ends by saying she loves him. And a really touching thing happens at the end. Catfish, they write like her son sees the message and actually reaches out, and now him and his mom Carrie share a very healthy relationship after reconciling, after years of not talking, which is so sweet. Look, we assisted in the login details for some of Carrie's accounts. She is currently altering her bank logins to ensure the scammer is not there. Although her son did read our message, he has yet to respond. We remain hopeful he will initiate contact with her. Oh, I guess I read it wrong. Anyway, that's the episode, guys. Thanks so much for watching. If Mark Zuckerberg contacts you and he's not actually in your immediate family, probably not Mark Zuckerberg. Please take care of yourselves. And if you have an old grandpa or grandma, make sure they're giving their money to you, strip clubs, or regular people, not celebs. We don't need that anymore. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Okay. Truth be told, where we